I feel like quarter one is done. Q1 is over. We're officially really in 2025 now. All that 2024 jitters and cobwebs are out the door. We're back. We're alive. We're ready to go. We're ready to rip. And because of that, Chris, I have a question for you.
What's the question, my friend?
How we looking today?
Honestly, looking pretty good. Something's different, but I think it's just there's a glow in the room. There's a glow coming off 3 different entities in this space.
3 different entities. I thought you were going to talk about your expensive light.
No. That light's been there a while now.
We're used to it.
How we smelling today, Chris?
Well, now that we got airflow and the AC's fixed, we are smelling phenomenal in here today, folks.
I appreciate that. I was sweating profusely last episode.
Yeah, last time by the end, smelling maybe not as good as we want to.
Yeah. And how we sounding today, Chris?
Buddy, we are sounding clean as a whistle. Honestly, a little too clean. I don't want to throw anyone off. They might think we're sitting in the car with them when they're playing this.
Chris is cooking today.
I'm telling you.
I like it. Adrian, I got a question for you. What episode are we on today?
74.
74 episodes of the Mayor's Office podcast, baby. We appreciate every single one of you that get to sit down, relax, listen, and hopefully subscribe to the Mayor's Office podcast. This is 74 episodes. I'm your host, Ralph, a.k.a. The Mayor, a.k.a. The Last Mayor Bender, a.k.a. some people call me the Mayor, but today I'm the president. I'm the president of the Olivia Miles fan club.
Let me get my Googles on.
And when we get to who Olivia Miles is in our sports segment, you guys will know why I just said that. 74 episodes. I don't do this podcast by myself. I do it with 2 amazing young men. Don't let anybody age you guys. Coming up first, the owner of 1990 Studios, the man that I will have DJ at the cookout. Talk to him.
Hey, what's going on? This is Chris, a.k.a. Stacks Edwards here at 1990 Studios, another episode of the Mayor's Office. Feeling good today, boys. Feeling good. Looking forward to getting into this one.
I like it. Did you Google who Olivia Miles is?
I did.
Okay, don't ruin it for anybody. Awesome.
I'm going to wait for the surprise.
Yeah. And coming in next, man, this guy, I said Chris is going to be the DJ at the cookout, but this guy's going to be the host at the cookout. He's going to get everybody where they need to go. When the food's ready, he's going to let them know. When it's time to dance, he's going to let them know. When some niggas losing at the domino table, I guarantee he's going to let them know because he's probably the one beating them. Talk to him.
I'll be announcing it like street ball that you just lost in dominoes.
6 love, bitch.
Exactly. It feels good to be back. It's your boy Adriel Smiley, adrielsmiley.com, Adriel Smiley Official. Episode 74. You said that 2025, now we got the jitters out, the cobwebs. I don't even feel that way yet. I take notes when I work out, like, know where I'm at, my personal best and all that. And for one of the dates, I put 2024. And this was like 2 weeks ago. So clearly I'm not there yet.
You're stuck in the past, man.
Stuck in the past.
Brother.
Crazy. And it's not even your segment from what happened in 1974 yet. And you're stuck in the past. I don't like hearing that. It's okay.
Gotta get together.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You're still the man. You're still the host.
Yeah.
It's all good. Today, I want to wish everybody a good day.
Everybody?
Not everybody. I don't want to wish everybody a good day. The people I don't want to wish a good day are the people that solely seek enjoyment from going to the club.
Ooh.
We talked about this a little bit earlier before in pre-recording. If you find that going to the club is your only sense of enjoyment, trust me, there's a multitude of things that you can do with your money and your time. I personally think, you guys let me know if I'm wrong, I feel like the club is dead.
Well, Kendrick Lamar killed it, so.
He let the party die.
Yeah.
But is the club dead to you guys?
I've never been really a club person because I'm not a big drinker. But I feel like in moderation.
To celebrate something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if someone's just turned in like 22 or something, once a year. But I feel like at a certain age,
Yeah, you kind of age out of it. The club died for me when I kind of stopped DJing. I was like, all right, I spent too many weekends, multiple times on a weekend inside here till God knows how long, doing afters. PTSD, man. I don't need that. I like loud music occasionally. I do like it. Like, I'm a different kind of club guy now. Only because you probably guess what club.
Yeah.
I have reasoning behind the club experience that I like. I like the new type of club, which I'll let the viewers figure it out. do the math. If you listen to the past episodes, you'll get it. But I still like to go out and I want to hear, especially in Durham, we're limited on options when it comes to music.
Okay.
So, I want to hear some good hip hop. I want to hear some, maybe just some heavy bass in the place.
Okay.
So limited options. So I'll pop out to this club, but it's like an in and out thing. There's not usually too much of a line, and there's usually like a nice face walking around. I would say
Maybe a few of them.
maybe a few of them, and
some great personalities. Yes,
so
exactly.
That's okay. That's an all right club once in a while, but no, not every. No.
And one last thing before we move on, I think that it's okay for you to still want to get drunk at a certain age, because as older I get, I realize people are getting drunk at all ages. Yeah. The older you get, the more money you get. That's almost like the pastime in itself. But I think the club is not the place to get drunk.
No.
There's probably better places for you to get drunk as a community, and the club's not that place. So I agree with you there.
I like the lounge vibes.
Yeah.
The lounge vibes are probably a little bit more my steez, although we don't have too many great lounges in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
But what I will say with the club, just for me to say, oh, we're going to Rebel this Friday, Adriel, what are you saying? I can't do that.
No.
I'm more of the event guy. Like, oh, there's going to be an R&B event at X club, or there's going to be this promoter type thing happening at this day party. That's my steez.
Yeah. You appreciate good curation.
Exactly.
And we got to stay seated. At least for me personally, when you get
some capacity,
when you get to my age, like I need to be able to sit at least half the time.
That's fair.
If I have no sitting option, I'm missing a sea of people. Count me out.
I'm not mad at that, guys. I'm not mad at that. I wanted to know your takes, but there's something else I want to know today.
Tell me.
We're at episode 74 of the Mayor's Office podcast. And every single episode, Adriel likes to take a trip in the time machine.
Beautiful. I love that we have that now. It feels even more official than it did before. So some things going on in 74. I just want to give kind of the broad strokes, of course. Richard Nixon, Watergate. Hop on your YouTubes.
Oh, shit.
Watch your documentaries. We're not going to go over that here, but that was going on a lot. And then Ted Bundy running rampant. So again, get on your documentaries, watch your series. But those were two of the bigger stories.
Ted Bundy was in 74, eh?
Yeah, biggest stories of the year.
Crazy.
Yeah, and it really reminds me of a time like we don't really have serial killers that are world famous in the moment in the same way.
Yeah.
Thank God. Knock on wood, thank God. But thinking about a time where this was like the number one news story, I can't even picture it. What's the closest we've had to that that's like a serial criminal that's like the number one news story as it's happening?
As it's happening? Like, and that person unalives people, or just like a regular? No, I can't tell you.
Even less than that, because I don't think we had like
probably Luigi. That's the only one I can really think of.
Yeah, and I think nowadays they become famous after the fact, and we didn't know who Luigi was beforehand.
True.
No, Luigi got popular in a quick second as soon as they found out who he was. So.
Yeah.
Different times.
No.
Different times.
The only one I can think of is that I think we mentioned him before. That guy who was in Toronto and he was like killing like gay dudes and stuff like that, and like taking them out to Peterborough or something.
Yeah.
But we don't even know his name.
We
don't need to know his name. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're not gonna give him that kind of pub.
No.
And the Doodoo Man at York, or was it UFT?
It was York.
Yeah. The Doodoo Man at York.
Yeah, he was infamous. He wasn't killing people, but.
Might as well have been, man. Definitely killed your day.
Yeah.
Definitely killed your day. You're not walking that one off.
Facts.
Oh, my goodness. Let's start with some good news. January 25th, 1974, the first heterotopic transplant, adding a donor heart without removing an old heart. This is some of the interesting things that I'm seeing when we go back in time, because I think medically it feels like, how often do we hear about something new happening? It doesn't feel like that often. Obviously, we haven't figured out everything, but
facts.
It feels like that sometimes.
So that person had two hearts?
Basically, yeah.
How long that lasts? We got to look that up.
Yeah, I didn't go into that one. Heart of a champion, we'll say, but
a lot of love to go around.
Think about being in those times and whatever science or medicine or surgery you need hasn't even been done yet. Like, that must be devastating.
It's tough.
Yeah, so completely different time. This one I think is topical because we're coming to the end of a lot of big name players in a lot of sports. Gordie Howe comes out of retirement for $1 million to play in the WHA.
For a season?
One season.
In 1974, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's big money. who could you see doing that now? Let's say retired players. You can go any sport you want to go to. What would a player you think would actually get offered money to come back? We talked about Wilt last episode.
Yeah.
We offered him money to come back. Gordie Howe. This doesn't happen as much anymore, but is
someone
there a
that was like a former like star?
Or just a player, like former player, maybe they still got a little left in the tank.
I think Melo would do it.
Melo, okay.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Anyone for you, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I got two off the jump, but I'll give you my main.
The
GOAT, Tom Brady.
Okay.
I can see him creeping back.
for one season.
Yeah, that's an obvious one. Yeah, that's an obvious one.
I can see that.
A big payday.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah,
Dwayne Wade, I could see Dwayne Wade coming back for a good check.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I hope they bring that like era of sports back because I thought of LeBron. You know, whenever LeBron retires, whatever, 2 years from now, 20 years from now, and obviously we see how LeBron is playing at 40. Imagine LeBron at 46. You can convince yourself,
yeah,
he still got something.
Yeah.
But what I'm noticing now is we probably won't get it. And the reason I say that is because the athletes are seeing the bag after sports when it comes into being in media.
True.
Interesting.
And look how much Tom Brady's getting paid right now, right? So he wouldn't be incentivized to,
Yeah.
compared to back in the day.
The bigger bag is what they need because I think that's the thing is the sports bag is still probably bigger than everyone's media bag.
For sure.
Like I don't think Melo is making as much as he made in his last season in the NBA on this podcast.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure he's able to pay his bills, but I don't think he's making as much as he made in the NBA.
Has to be somebody that's like damn near broke.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like Tom Brady, he would need a big bag because he's getting a big bag.
Yeah.
But I think you could offer Melo $5 million and he would get back in the league.
I could see that.
You know? So I think there's something there of like
I agree.
Yeah.
Joe Johnson would be
Dwight
a good
Howard.
one. Dwight for sure. Yeah, very interesting. People Magazine begins their sales February 27, 1974. That feels like it's closer than I thought it would be. I thought it would be a lot further in the past.
Oh, really?
Than 74, just because they've been celebrities for so long, and people's like the celebrity
So what's that,
magazine.
like 52 years they've been running?
Yeah,
That's not bad.
yeah. I would love to see what they started out putting in their magazines.
Yeah.
Such a different time. The 16th Grammy Awards. Now, these are some black facts.
Shit.
And this was a time when black artists were winning the awards. One, gotta give rest in peace. She just passed away. Roberta Flack won Best Record for Killing Me Softly.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Probably top 10 song ever.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is a song where almost all versions of it are good. No matter who covers it, it still ends up being a good song.
Please, New York rappers, do not turn that into a drill song. Please. Not that one, bro. Not that one.
You just jinxed it.
Somebody's going to do it. Yeah.
Someone's going to kill a bunch of ops on that record sooner than you think. And then this guy, to me, I said this before, I think he's the best vocalist of all time. Stevie Wonder, Inner Visions wins Best Album. So we got some black facts and stuff.
Inner Visions, eh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
I secretly want him to just like on his deathbed tell everyone.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The whole
Pop
time.
off the
Like he
shades.
has like a pre-recorded video and it just plays to every single screen. When
I'm telling you. Because he's rich enough where he can afford whatever experimental technology could fix his eyes. You know, because they have had technology that can fix certain people's vision if you have certain conditions.
But this is like his shtick. You know what I mean?
His shtick is crazy.
No. I mean, like if he's blind, like
It's part
I
of his
think,
identity.
Yeah, it wouldn't bode well if he just could see all of a sudden. You know what I mean?
I think now would be fine though. Like this is far enough in his career that not like if this was like 81 and he could see, then it's a different story.
True.
But,
All right, so Stephen Hawkins got up and started walking.
oh my goodness.
Stephen
Do
Hawking
you think people
walking?
would care now?
People definitely would care, first of all, but he's also like at a point where he's out of the public eye completely. Stevie Wonder still pops up at certain points.
At certain points.
You know, he's still around for certain award shows, certain tributes,
Okay.
you know? And I, like talking about Stephen Hawking, that would kind of probably hurt his image because he was on the Epstein list. He was on the island.
Yeah.
So it's like you almost feel bad hating on him because of the condition that he's in physically. If he gets up and walks.
Taking a wheelchair to an island.
That's what
crazy to me.
That's what I'm
took
saying.
up 2 seats on the plane.
He gets up and walks now. You're like, all right.
I'd have to fight him.
Lock him up.
Yeah, 100%. This one had a weird title, and that's why I included it. It was titled One Man War. The last Japanese soldier, a guerrilla operating in the Philippines, surrenders 20 years after World War II ends. So he was really holding on basically 30 years after and finally said,
I'm out. Enough's
out.
enough.
That's the type of man you trust with your life.
I was about to say, like,
Loyal to a fault.
yeah.
Come on, man. He's not a Toronto man.
No.
That was crazy. I think maybe when we get further on in the episodes, I'll do like a Canadian only section of this. In Vancouver, I went to a museum and seeing the history of racism they have there, absolutely insane. Like I knew a lot of it already, but to see how far back it goes.
Yeah, Vancouver's pretty bad for sure.
Yeah. Very, very interesting.
Was it just Vancouver or like Canada racism?
Vancouver was specific of what I saw on the weekend, but Canada for sure.
Toronto's growth from racism compared to Vancouver's growth is not comparable.
Oh, they're still rough out there, eh?
No, it's bad. And I saw that after the World War II, they didn't want Japanese people moving back to Vancouver. So the government kind of tried to stop them and said, could you please move elsewhere? And of course, thousands of people, that's been their home for decades, didn't really go well. It was, you could do the research and see how that went. But crazy that the government said, now that you fought for us,
help build the country.
Could you guys, built the country, created opportunities. Do you guys mind living somewhere else? Absolutely insane.
Almost like black slaves in America, that they made go to war and come back.
To be honest,
no respect.
It's worse because the Japanese chose to come here, so it's actually a lot worse. This one I think is for Ralph because he's our film buff here, but it shows how kind of film has taken a downturn over the past few years because we're doing remake after remake. The first film adaptation of The Great Gatsby comes out in 1974.
Oh, 1974. Okay.
So think about what we've done since then where it's like, What year did the recent Great Gatsby come out? I want to say 2013? I was going to say 2009, but around that, around that time.
Okay. Can we fact check for the people so we don't sound like idiots?
It's a whole different year we said.
It's 04.
But I think that's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
This one is also topical. We haven't talked about politics basically at all on this show. Oh, sorry. What's the year, Chris?
2013.
Come on, stop playing with me, Chris.
Come on,
man. He got it.
This one's topical. We stay away from politics a lot on this show. This one, I think, is the one time we can talk about it a tiny bit. May 8th, Canadian government of Pierre Trudeau falls in 1974. Almost mirroring what happened a few months ago.
Papa Trudeau, eh?
Yeah, like father, like son.
Burn my little way.
We got an election coming up, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. But very, very interesting time in this country. This one, I'm at a loss for words because this even being a stat is crazy on its own. India becomes the 6th nation to explode an atomic bomb.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
Yeah. I didn't even know they had that in their history, but the fact that we're keeping score.
I didn't know India. I don't know if this is racist for me to think. I didn't know they had the tech. Especially at the time. I have to deep that out.
They're big tech, man.
But that's an absolutely crazy one to see that like we're keeping score of who's gotten one off. Has Canada gotten one off?
I doubt it.
I don't think so.
I hope so. We might have got one off.
Crazy.
Just to fit in, like
make it sound like home runs,
No, if everyone's getting one, like
we can't be out here.
Oh man, absolutely crazy. This one, nothing actually pertinent is about this fact, but I wanted to give him some love because this guy's the logo. Jerry West, Mr. Clutch, retires from the NBA, 1974, October 3rd. His career stats. 25,000 career points, 14 NBA seasons, playoff career average, 29 points per game.
Crazy.
In 150 playoff games. So
only player to get finals MVP and lose.
Yep. So absolutely crazy. And when I did my kind of research about the past in the NBA, he was one of the players who I rated a lot more because he was playing with other greats and still shining. Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain.
Definitely.
So yeah, absolute legend. And then this one's something we don't see often, and thank God we don't. American R&B singer Al Green's girlfriend, Mary Woodson, dies by suicide at his Memphis home after assaulting him with a pot of boiling grits. Shout out to Medea. But those are the things we don't see as often.
No.
In the news. So
even like Left Eye burning down the house. Like,
yeah,
don't see that shit.
Yeah, and I think it's at least it's good we don't have that as much anymore, because I feel like there was a time where celebrities were getting into all type of stuff with their families or fans, and
I feel like it was like a product of like the time, like just like the way people treated people. I mean, you can look at the evolution, right? Like people are gradually. There's a lot of issues now still. Let's not be.
Yeah, now it's more like revenge porn.
Yeah. But I just feel like the way people moved back then were a little more like, a little more disrespectful to women, more like ignorant and rude to people. And just like, it was almost like people are like, oh, he's just, what do you want to say? Like, he's just, that's just him talking to his wife. Like, oh, he's just, that's a family dispute. But
it was
really,
part of the rock star image. I think that's the difference is like, oh my gosh, he's so edgy. He's so cool. Like, I think right now, Justin puts hands on Haley. We're not going to have that kind of response. I think at that time, it was like, he's anti-establishment. No one tells him what to do.
Yeah, it's like, wow, why did she upset him?
Yeah. That's crazy.
No, that's crazy, but that's 100% how it was. So that's this week. What happened night 74.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. And happy we got some black facts in there. I know from 60s to the 70s, it kind of switches.
Yeah, we get a little bit of each.
I'm trying to get some black facts at least in every single episode.
I rate that. Shout out to the black facts.
Shit.
Gentlemen, I got a random question for you guys. I've been on the news a lot lately, right?
Okay.
And you mentioned politics.
Okay.
And something dawned to me. I saw something on the ticker that popped up, and it dawned to me that this could actually be a possibility. And what that is may shock you or may not surprise you, depending on where you are. Donald Trump is finding ways to serve a third term. Now, say that's a possibility. He tries to serve a third term. He runs for election for a third term. If he goes up against Barack Obama, would this be the biggest election battle of all time?
Easily, for sure.
Yeah.
You're breaking the rules of the structure just to have this election in the first place. Yeah. And you know the crazy part about this, because I did see this as well. He was doing this the first time around, actually, but
trying to install a third term.
It didn't go the way he wanted to. That's part of why January 6th happened. But I think it would be the biggest election in the world, in his world history. But does Obama win that election, or does he lose? That's the real question.
I think he does, man. The Republicans talk about him like he's the boogeyman. They sound scared.
Yeah. I feel like because honestly, that's if you think about how crazy that is, because people joke about him being like, wanting to be a dictator, et cetera, et cetera. That's almost in a sense what he's trying to do. And I think there'd be a lot of people who would, even if they didn't love Barack, and Barack seems great, but I feel like they would, just for the point that he's the one doing this, it's like, okay, you can't bend the rules and then him win.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't even think every Republican loves Trump. I think a lot of times it's like people were just used to being Republican. It's like, all right, I guess that's our guy.
Yeah.
There's still some of that, I'm sure. Maybe they'd be like, this is too much.
I think Barack's the most popular president in the last 40 years. I would say that.
That's fair.
I would say
that's fair.
I would say the only one that would come close to him probably is Kennedy. To me,
Kennedy,
recent.
Yeah, Kennedy would be up there.
Yeah.
Clinton, when he first got into power, would be up there.
Yeah.
Barack is also the internet's first president. So I think that's a big part of it as well, where 08 is when he got elected. 06 is when his campaign kind of started. That's really the start of the internet age. And he is the first president that was in office when Twitter became popular, when YouTube became popular. So I think he has a good shot, but I can't lie to you. I don't think it's a for sure win, him against Trump.
It'll be a great battle, though.
Yeah.
I think he'll win, but you're right. I don't think it's gonna be a landslide dub. But Barack has the whites, the blacks, the Latinas. Everybody loves Barack.
Yeah. And he's just like that guy. He's just so well spoken and so he's a leader that you would
actually want to follow.
You want to follow. You're like, okay, he seems like he's pragmatic. He thinks about things. Yeah. Has good thought. The
man hasn't been president for 13 years, and people still love him. There has been no real dirt on him. Nothing. People still love Michelle to death. His family, they care about. I don't know. That would be a great battle, though. I'm here for it.
And I think the contrast of the two of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you know, Trump is like a babbling fool most of the time. And Obama is so well spoken.
Yep.
And then as well, I think it's kind of why Trump won is usually in America, it's like an overcorrection in terms of what was before.
Yeah.
We were almost too liberal and too black in the Obama administration. Then Trump gets in. This is going to be such a switch where we've been almost way too conservative with Trump around. Let's switch back the other way. So I think you got a good shot.
It'll be a good battle.
Imagine that the debate. That'd be like the Super Bowl.
I think Barack will run circles around him in the debate for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Because Trump would just kind of run out of things to say and start insulting him.
Yeah, that's exactly what
and he'd probably run out of insults because you can't use the same stuff they used in 2008 and 2012. You got to have some new stuff against him.
Because I can't lie, I watched the last debate when it was Trump versus Kamala. Kamala was cooking him.
Yeah.
She was actually cooking the fuck out of this nigga.
Yeah.
If Kamala's cooking you, Barack is going to cook you.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Listen, in the comments, let us know. Who do you think will win? That's what I want to know. Who do you think will win? I think we all on the same page who we want to win. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But who do you think will win that battle?
And is a third term a good thing?
No, I think that the reason why that's the problem I think that we have in Canada is that there is no kind of set time on your term because Trudeau's been 12 years, I think?
Yeah.
Since Trudeau's been in power. And I would say
damn near had to force him to step down.
Yeah, and at least half of that people have not been interested in him being the prime minister. So I think 2 terms kind of forces you as a leader, like, okay, I got to actually do what I said I was going to do. I might not be here for a second term, let alone first. So
that's why Carney is like, and this is not a political podcast, but Carney, as soon as he became PM, he's like, yo, we're running an election.
Yeah.
At the end of April. It's like, yo, I'm not giving you niggas any time to think.
Yeah.
I think that was smart too, because people are looking at it like, okay, well, we never voted for you. Why are you in? There's like that mindset. I know a lot of people like him, but so I think that was smart for him to do that.
100%.
Because then it kind of puts it. He's like, let's let the people actually decide. You know, I just got in here because this situation. Let the people decide. It's going to be an interesting time.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes over here too.
Political podcast. Mayor's office for a reason. Am I right? The thing that I saw that I kind of missed, and I feel bad saying I missed this, was the anniversary of Nipsey Hussle's death. Basically the day was done when I noticed. And this was obviously a huge moment in the culture and hip hop and for all of us. And the one thing I want to go back in time to, like, do you guys remember where you were when you got that news? Because I remember where I was. I was at church, and I remember trying to explain it to some of the kids who were younger, who were trying to figure out what happened. And I said, God didn't die, but this is like one of his disciples did. You know, like he was kind of spreading the positive message in hip hop. So I remember where I was when I got the news. Do you guys remember where you were when you heard?
I was at a men's league game. The game finished and mans were like, yo, Nipsey died. So I was like, damn, like that.
Yeah.
I rocked with Nipsey a lot. Like, it's just, it hit me differently because that was the first major rapper that I felt past during my time of being an adult.
Yeah.
Where I was like, you know what I mean? Like, it hit you a little different because you just listen to Nipsey. You just listen to his music. Like, you kind of know his story, which is crazy, right? So no matter how much you actually, like, listen to his music, it still would hit you a certain way because of the message, right? And Adriel mentioned that a little earlier.
Yeah, Chris, what about you?
Yeah, I was, I think I was like driving home from work, or my wife was driving because we were working at the same spot. And then I just saw it like on my timeline. And I was just like, wow, especially like the manner that it happened too was kind of like crazy. And then you're reading about it and they're like, is this? And the guy was like, I guess still running around and they were trying to
catch him.
Like, yeah, and it was just like a crazy scenario. And like, it's super sad because that was the year he dropped Victory Lap that year, earlier in the year. Not too much farther before that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like a few months before.
Yeah, because it was,
I think it was February, dropped Victory Lap.
And that was a great album.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, literally it was March 31st. So.
And the crazy part about it too is the way it happened. I forgot about that, but the way it happened on Twitter, it was probably 10 minutes where people were saying, I hope this is not true.
Yeah.
And so it was like, almost like the Luka trade in a sense, where you don't believe it right away. Like, because of how it happened, everyone was like, okay, let's hope it's not true. Let's wait till it's confirmed. Let's see what this is about. Then once it was confirmed, it was super sad.
Yeah, and then you saw the video of, I guess, him arguing with the guy earlier on because he left and came back. Remember seeing that? It's just, that stuff always like trips me out. Like when you see like something like that where it happened like the day of, and then you see some other video related to it before it happened, it's just like thinking about like, wow, that's like moments before it happened. It's just like, I don't know, it's just like kind of like a surreal thing.
It is, yeah.
You're like, damn.
And I think too, the way he passed, because of the kind of artist he was, made it worse. Because I've been thinking about other rappers that have passed and like the impact it's had, because you said that was like the first time in our generation like a rapper passed that we were aware of. It's happened almost so much times since then or around then that we're kind of used to it. Like when you think about Juice WRLD, Pop Smoke, Triple X, Mac Miller, P&B Rock, it's like it's almost normal in a way now. And I think what I always think about is how all these rappers pass.
Yeah, because if you take all the artists you just named, if you subtract Mac Miller because of the causes that he passed, they're all murders.
Well, Juice WRLD too was
drugs.
Yeah, Juice WRLD was drugs as well, but for the vast majority of them are, you throw in, you didn't say Young Dolph.
Young
that's
Dolph,
another one.
Yeah.
Right? Like a lot of these are murders.
In their own town too. Like
most of the time it's in their own town too. Like, so it's very tough, like to listen to it, hear it, and it exploded, yo. It was like a landslide of every 3 weeks somebody was passing.
Yeah.
So
that was tough. I think the one to me that hit, even though I wasn't a huge fan of him, was Juice WRLD, just because of how he passed and the content of his music. And it's kind of like a rapper talking about murder every song, and then he gets murdered. Like a little bit like Pop Smoke at the beginning of his career. Like that was Juice WRLD, where every song he was on perks, on some kind of drugs. He's fighting it. And then for him to pass that way as well, it's kind of like, I get it. He's living his raps. Like this is not, but it made me feel like we saw the signs over and over, and then now when he passes, it's a sad story.
Which rapper passing shocked you guys the most?
Shocked.
Recently. I'll go first. Number one that shocked me, like, and to this day, I'm like, damn, I wish this guy, well, obviously I wish none of them passed, but I'm like, damn, this guy's career didn't even take off yet. It's Pop. Pop Smoke really hit me where I was like, damn. I thought this kid was just gonna make it, and for all intents and purposes, he was supposed to, right? So just little sloppy things like posting addresses and stuff. Like, there's a lot of niggas that are up to no good. And then the second one, I'd say Takeoff. Takeoff, I didn't believe it.
Oh yeah,
I thought Takeoff was like, I thought he just got shot and he's going to the hospital. And nah, when I found out Takeoff actually died, that one hurt me.
Those are actually two for me too. Takeoff hit me because I've been a Takeoff fan since I got into the Migos. So for him, bro, same as you. I couldn't believe it was real. It probably took like a week of people like posting RIP Takeoff for me to like really be like, okay, he's really not coming back. And it was like around the time when the Migos weren't together. So that made it even more sad because it was like, okay, they're really never coming back together. They already felt like they weren't coming back together before that, but this was like, okay, they're done for. And then Pop Smoke, I may have said this before on the podcast, but that was going to be like our graduation present to like our group of us who were graduating from Ryerson at the time, was to see Pop Smoke. We were kind of waiting to buy the tickets to like, see if the price would go down. But that was going to be our graduation present, going to see Pop Smoke.
He died at 20 years old.
Yeah. And I think it was the day after I bought my tickets that he passed. So yeah, that was a pretty crazy one.
Yeah. And then hearing his album afterwards, the one that he was working on, and then like I think 50 and some other people finished it.
Yeah.
You could tell that he was trying to elevate his sound too.
Yeah.
So he wasn't just gonna be the drill guy. Like he was actually gonna elevate his sound and do a little bit of R&B songs and switch it up a little bit. You know what I mean? So he had a lot of talents. Yeah. A lot of these guys did.
Yeah, Chris, who's the person for you?
Yeah, I'd say honestly it's Pop Smoke and Mac Miller.
Yeah.
Same things that you're talking about with Pop Smoke. Just like seeing the rise, and like I was like, yeah, just seeing the rise where he was just coming up, and you're like, he's about to be like the next 50 Cent for New York. Like I felt like he was like New York's guy. Like I felt like for a while New York didn't have like that, like
a sound.
A new artist that was. They were always living off like the Nas, Jay. Like they were living off like those kind of.
This is like fresh blood. Like
there's a fresh guy coming in, right? And then Mac, and then that album was coming out. And then Mac Miller. Just a big Mac Miller fan growing up, kind of, formative years.
Definitely.
And that Swimming album was like hard for, actually, that Swimming album, I remember showing it to people who like never really rocked with Mac. And they're like, oh, this is not what I expected. And they're like, you could just like see the evolution of his music. And he was like really becoming like a true artist. Like people kind of I think put him in this box of being like a kid rapper kind of stuff.
Yeah, he was past that.
So that one for me. And then I was at work on that one, and I remember getting it, and I was like, what the?
Yeah, same. I was at work, and I think with Max, similar to Juice WRLD, he had talked about his struggles with addiction and substance abuse all over his music for the past, 5-6 years before he passed?
Yeah.
And the Swimming album was probably the album of any project that he seemed like he was either the most sober or the most at peace.
Yeah, and what's crazy is, on Faces, like he's got that song Funeral, talking about his funeral. And even in the Swimming album, I forget, what was it, Self-Care maybe, where he's like in a box, like underground.
Yes.
Like, it's kind of freaky when they it leads to that out of like, you're seeing it in their music at a time, but crazy.
Yeah.
Awesomeness music.
Yeah.
Crazy
It's
time.
A weird feel. Can we pick up the energy?
Please.
Pick it up
on the podcast.
Yeah.
Can we go to sports?
Let's go to sports. Sports.
But all of these people have a deep, deep fan base, and we miss all of them, especially their music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Rest in paradise to all of those people. But I want to take it lighter, of course, because we were going down a path.
We were. I was about to cry.
Yeah, I know it. There are some tough times in there. But I want to talk about March Madness, because March Madness, we're just used to it at this point. It's been in our lives since as long as we can remember. Even if you don't follow college basketball, you follow college basketball for the month of March. And a lot of players who are superstars now, that's where people became fans of them. I think about someone like Steph Curry. My dad watched Steph Curry for the first time during March Madness. And someone like Kemba Walker, who had a huge fan base when he got to the league. So I want to talk about some March Madness facts, because, again, this is one of America's greatest exports, is absolutely March Madness. The term March Madness was first used to describe the tournament in 1982.
I guarantee the person that made that phrase did not get paid for it.
100%. But that phrase has stuck literally since day one, it feels like.
Yeah.
This is something that I didn't even think about, because, again, it's just been in our lives forever. It's an institution at this point. The tournament started in 1939, which is, hell of a long time ago, with only 8 teams.
Oh, wow.
So you just started the Elite Eight?
To think about that now is like, that's like, that tournament would be done already if it was 8 teams.
That would suck.
So to think about it being only 8 teams.
You just got to win 3 games.
No, it's an AAU tournament.
Yeah.
Crazy. This one I'm going to need Chris to look up, because I don't even know how to quantify this word I'm going to say. And this is also for the bettors out there. Of course, we have some bettors in our lives. We have a bettor here on the show. The odds of filling out a perfect bracket are 1 in 9.2 quintillion.
I believe that.
I don't even know how much zeros are in quintillion, but a long shot is definitely what that is. And of course, you guys probably could have guessed it. The tournament has never seen a perfect bracket.
It's impossible. It's too many upsets. It's too many possibilities of upsets.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it's just one game, one and done, like it's impossible. And the talent gap isn't that great. Like, yeah, you're gonna have your number 1, 2, 3 seeds, but a 16 can beat an 8.
Yeah.
How do you predict that?
Yeah, it's crazy that they have it's all number 1s going to the Final Four in men's,
and that hasn't happened since 2008.
Yeah.
Like,
what are we talking about?
Yeah, and it's funny because that, again, over 10 years since it's happened, but when you fill out your brackets, how often do you put all number 1s going to the Final Four? Rarely.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting that basically never happens. Out of Duke and Kentucky, who do you guys think has won more titles on the men's side?
Ooh, I'm going to say Kentucky. I feel like Duke had a lot of great success in the 80s, 90s, but I'm going to say Kentucky overall.
Kentucky as well?
Yeah, I got Kentucky.
That's correct. Duke has won 5 times. Kentucky has won 8 times.
Yeah, and most of those Kentucky dubs have been like in the 2000s.
Yeah.
And do you guys know who's won the most of any school?
Of any school?
Yeah.
UConn.
UCLA.
Oh shit.
Yep, 11 titles.
I thought it was UConn for real. Okay.
In the women's, it's UConn.
Okay, sorry.
The women's is UConn. Yes. The best actual basketball in a movie. Do you guys know the answer to this?
Is this has to be an opinion though?
I guess it's an opinion, but I think it's pretty obvious.
Coach Carter?
Coach Carter, yeah.
Yeah, Coach Carter has some good basketball.
Yeah, Coach
Shout out
Carter.
to Tito Cruz, man.
Yeah.
Shooting from deep.
Oh my gosh.
Man.
Yeah, no. They have actual good basketball on that one, so that's an easy one for me. I Googled Olivia Miles.
Yes.
So please share with the people why you're such a big fan.
I'm so glad that you did this, and I'm so glad I get an ISO, kind of like Olivia Miles. If you guys don't know, Olivia Miles is projected to be the number 2 pick in the WNBA draft.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes a lot deeper than that. This girl's game has flair. There's certain players you watch and they get the numbers and they can fill the stat sheet and, you know, they do the eye test. But for me, Olivia Miles, she fills the swag test.
Big time.
She got swag in her game. So I want everybody to check the highlights. This girl's like 5'10". She plays for Notre Dame. She just entered the transfer portal. And we're going to talk about that in a second because it's very important. But she entered the transfer portal. She's going to play another year. She's going to forego the WNBA draft. But she has swag. She passes. She can shoot. She just looks like if you pick her up in runs, she's going to cook.
Yeah. Now, I like her game. I think she's kind of where the WNBA is headed when basketball's headed because there's a lot more players of that ilk. So I'm happy she's getting her shine.
Nah, she got swag on the court for sure. I want you guys to all some Olivia Miles highlights. And this leads into my next thing to talk to you guys about. All right, so people probably wondering, why does Olivia Miles not want to go to the WNBA draft? Like after Paige, she's number 2.
Yeah.
It's easy, right? Simple picks, right? The NIL money's too good for the WNBA stars. So that's why I feel like she said, fuck it, I'm going to play another year. She's like 22. I'm going to play another year, make some NIL money, and then eventually I can go to the W. Do you guys agree or disagree with players doing that?
100% agree. Get your money.
I like it. I like it. It makes it more competitive too in the NCAA. You're keeping players for longer. Yep. The one thing they got to do is figure out, and I think they're working on that when they're trying to figure out what the cap's going to be, and like the transfer portal, because you get these like great players who like they'll play 1 year for a team. Oh, they got a lot of light. Next thing you know, they're just leaving and going to another team. And it's hard to develop like a team that way. And
there's a team. I like that. I think it's Indiana for men's.
Yeah,
they have no players next year.
Yeah.
Like 4 of their players are graduating. Everybody else went in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
So they got to kind of figure that out a little bit. But I do like the fact that the female hoopers are exercising that 5 years.
Yeah,
why not?
100%. Yeah.
If I can make $3-4 million being a top 10 women's hooper in the NCAA, I'm gonna do that compared to going to the W and making whatever they make, which is nowhere close to that.
And maybe win, and then have a good chance to maybe win a natty.
Yeah.
Like, look at Auburn; they're an older team, right? Like some of these older teams, you're playing against younger players who haven't been in this kind of situation.
Got advantage,
Good advantage to them to really push it over the line too.
100%.
I think it helps the sport in general because you got to think of a lot of these players, Paige, Juju, Caitlin last year, Angel Reese, they're becoming stars before they get to the WNBA in a different way.
Yeah.
In the NBA, we don't have that as much because a lot of guys are one and done. So you may be a popular prospect, but people are probably aware of you for 4 months. Yeah. And that's like your popularity. In the W, these college players are having 2, 3, 4 year careers being superstar athletes. And if you guys have seen it, I don't know if you've seen this stat, but all the top NIL players in college in terms of followers on Instagram and money are all women.
It's like Cooper Flag's 6th.
Yeah, so I think like someone like her, Olivia, she's building up her brand. By the time she's ready for the WNBA, she'll be able to actually maybe make some more money than she would otherwise because she's such a star.
And there's a spot for her in the W. It's not going anywhere.
No. Yeah.
You turn around and she's probably going to be the number 2 pick next year, depending on like Juju's going in her 3rd, 4th year.
Yeah.
So Olivia's probably going to be the 1st pick next year.
Yeah.
So she's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like before there was all the money, people were like let me go get that bag right away. Now they're incentivized to stay because of it, and they're going to develop even better, and I think have a better start in the pros,
start your career on the right foot. Yeah. And I think too, the last thing I want to say is about like the money in the W. We're probably a few years away from it getting to a place where players will leave early. I think, we're definitely not there yet. But I think what's happening is the way they're making money outside of their actual salaries is really changing everything. Like someone like Angel Reese, who is making
brand deals,
5-10 times more than her NBA salary outside of the game. I think of someone like Sabrina Ionescu, her shoes are being worn by NBA players. So like once this starts and we see that change, like you'll see a player like Olivia or a Caitlin who they might not make as much in their salary for the league, but have a shoe or a brand deal that's being bought by female athletes, male athletes, parents, everybody. So I think it's changing because there hasn't been that competition of the NBA basketball players battling the WNBA players for like brand deals and eyeballs, but there's going to be a world where like we're wearing
the gap will be closer,
clothes.
But it's not going to be like some close fight. No. But yeah, it'll be a lot closer.
I disagree. No, I'm telling you.
Adriel, don't pander on the podcast.
I'm telling you. No.
Go ahead.
Listen,
right.
you saw Asia Wilson's hoodie, right? The Asia Wilson hoodie?
Yes.
She has. That's the silk on the inside.
Okay.
No NBA player did that this whole time. You don't think all of us with braids and dreads are going to buy that proper silk hoodie? When the WNBA had the orange hoodie that came out,
yes,
that sold out in a second. I'm telling you, because right now, the NBA players' like clothing apparel is more generic. You're not buying a specific player's apparel. You're more like, I'll buy Nike stuff or Adidas stuff.
That's well and good, Adriel. Mm-hmm. But niggas are buying the men's club. I'm not trying to turn this to a men's versus women thing. No. They're going to do really well with their apparel and their gear because they have the ability now to have more brand freedom. Mm-hmm. I get it. And I'm rocking with it. Because I saw this. Well, yeah, we can put a tab on it. Because I see, I'm right with you. Sabrina's shoes, they look hard. And I've seen men on TikTok like do their reviews on her shoes. I fuck with it. I might buy them.
Yeah.
But the men's game is a different thing, though.
Yeah.
I'll add one thing that I think that you're missing here. The apparel side,
yes,
is where the women are gonna strive. There's not an NBA player whose apparel people are buying because it's that player. The shoes, yes,
I think,
but the apparel is different.
The style of apparel, I agree. What'd you say?
I said, you ever heard of Jordans?
The style of clothes, I agree, but the brand power of that logo, niggas don't care about the generic.
But that's what I'm saying is these women are signed to Nike and Adidas just like the men are. So if you were going to just buy the sweater because it's Nike, if Asia Wilson has a flyer sweater, I'll buy the Asia Wilson sweater. On top of it...
I don't know about that.
No, we'll see.
If Anthony Edwards and Asia Wilson if Anthony Edwards had his logo on a generic sweater and Asia has come out with some super cool technology that I'm not knocking, I would love to wear... But it's her logo on it. Niggas are gonna more than likely buy the Anthony Edwards sweater.
I think that's an assumption you're making, and I'm.
We can look at the numbers.
No, but what I'm saying is that's not what's happening now. The women are making more money with apparel than men. Men are making money in the shoes. The shoes will always be the men will always have the most. I'll agree with you. I think in the apparel is where the women will strive because we've already seen the women's apparel has been popular with the men. When you see these men come to WNBA games, they're wearing the WNBA hoodies, WNBA sweaters, the pants. What I'm saying is really going to change is the guys who sell the most shoes right now are all the old heads who are retiring. LeBron, KD, and Steph. Those are the most popular shoes. Kyrie as well does well, but those are the most popular shoes. Ant, I think, is the one guy, because Ant has probably the best shoe to me in basketball right now. But the young guys, their shoes are not selling in the same way. The women's sneakers for the stars that are coming up, the new women's stars are going to be bigger than some of the younger men's stars. That's what I think personally.
In the apparel, you're talking apparel specifically.
I think apparel, but I think it will be more than that potentially, just because, for example, we've seen a John Morant before. There's other players who play like that, a Derrick Rose or an Allen Iverson. There's no Juju in the league right now on that level. There's no Olivia in the league right now on that level. So once these players start coming in and changing the league, women's basketball is going to be looked at so differently because I don't think when people think of women's basketball, you think of seeing someone play like that. So I think that kind of value is really going to change everything off the court. But that's just me. That's just me.
Let us know in the comments how you feel. If you guys agree with Adriel, or if you disagree with Adriel, let us know.
If you hate women, you know who you agree with.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
Come on.
Don't do that.
Oh, boy. Boy.
I was actually going to ask you, because like you saw the comments. I think it was Reese said that lately, that they should be making the same amount.
Yes.
Let's not get into this, because no. It's a fundamentally flawed argument.
I agree.
I want them to make as much money as they can. But if if this podcast was constantly losing money, right? How can I go and ask for more?
That's what.
It doesn't make sense. Right? Yeah, maybe me as an individual, I could say, I'm one of the hosts of the Mayor's Office podcast. But if the overall podcast is not making money or not profitable, how the fuck can I ask for more money?
It's percentage more than amount. That's more what they want the same percentage, I think, which makes more sense.
What's the splits? Because if there is no extra money to go anywhere.
Yeah. There's the league's still really developing.
But I think the asking for the split is fair because the money they do make, popularity they do have, is off the backs of the players.
Yeah.
That's just the truth of it. Yeah. So in the NBA, they get 50% now of basketball-related income. 50% of basketball-related income for WNBA players seems fair to me because people are coming to watch the actual players.
Well,
so that's, even though it's still not going to get you to the level of, where they want to be.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. It's like, if you want to have, half of this.
I can't give you 50% if I'm not making any money as an owner.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Like, we'll see. Like, the latest TV deal they got off the backs of the new players and some of the current stars, it's allowing for a little more flexibility, but it still can't be at the percentages that the NBA mans are getting. And I'm not talking about the numbers total. I'm just saying the percentages.
Yes.
You're allowed to do that because you have so much financial flexibility with the TV deals.
Yeah.
They'll get there to a certain point, but to say, I'm making $1 million a year, next year I need to be making $5 million or we all sit. Where's that $4 million coming from?
Who's giving you that? Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. I could buy all the Asia Wilson hoodies in the world, bro.
Yeah.
Let us know what you guys think. Is Adriel right about the apparel stuff? Is he wrong? Are you a misogynist? Are you a feminist? Let us know.
Galifestation, manifestation,
facts,
all of that. This next segment is one of my favorite ones that we've added, and we're talking about the best and worst movies from our favorite actors and actresses. Now, last week we did some actors, and I think we had a good little list of people. I think with
you did a great job.
Yeah, with some great films under their belt. This one is definitely for y'all listening and watching to get involved because sometimes I feel like some of these actors, actresses have too many bad movies to pick just one, or too many good movies to pick just one. So in the comments, let us know. But I want to start at the top with Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep. Oh, we're going classics here.
Yeah, she's been considered the greatest female actress of all time. I don't know when that happened. I always have liked Meryl Streep, but I guess over the past 5-10 years, somewhere along the line, they decided she was the GOAT. I don't remember when that happened, but she's at the top of every list. Do you have any suggestions for her worst or best movie?
I'm just pulling up the filmography, so I'm going to start it just now.
I think when it comes to worst, there's a lot to choose from that I haven't seen from her, like Fantastic Mr. Fox. That could be a candidate for maybe her worst film, for sure. But I think in terms of her best film, she has some great choices. This is one of my favorites, not one of her best, one of my personal favorites. Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events holds a place in my heart. Had to give a shout out for that. There's Julie and Julia, Into the Woods. Don't Look Up, which got mixed reviews, came out in 2021. We have Little Woman, which was a very, very loved film. But I think the actual answer everyone would give, and I know y'all are yelling at your screen right now, is Devil Wears Prada. I think most people would say that's her best film.
Yeah, or Sophie's Choice is up there too.
Sophie's Choice, yeah.
Sophie's Choice is up there too. Meryl Streep she just embodies like what a top level actress would be. Although she does have some bad films,
of course,
but she does have some classics. So I would probably say Devil Wears Prada, and then I would probably say Sophie's Choice. In terms of her bad films, there's not a lot that really kind of stand out to me. The Giver.
Yep.
That wasn't that great. But outside of that, I haven't been a big like Meryl Streep watcher like that, but I do appreciate her filmography.
I have one, but I want to wait to say it till after because that's going to piss some people off. Anything you have for her best or worst movies?
So for best movies, my number one is The River Wild.
Okay.
River Wild. I haven't watched that.
Yeah, essentially like it's like a family. They're going on this like river trip for whatever reason, and they meet some unsavory characters along the way, and they're having a little issue with Meryl and her husband, and you can see, I think they were separating and they were doing this one last family trip, but they met these people on on their little excursion down the river, and some tomfoolery happens, and some dangerous stuff happens. But at the end of the river, they make it down. Everyone survives. Spoiler alert. But I don't know. It was good. I used to watch it when I was like a kid, like I like cottages, shit like that. So
Okay.
and then I had Devil Wears Prada, and then for bad movies, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of Mamma Mia. Maybe some of the songs were good.
That's what I was gonna say as the worst.
But it's one of those movies, and we did a segment on this last episode, but bad movies that people still love. I think people love Mamma Mia.
The millennial white woman?
Yeah, I was about to say
Mamma Mia.
There's a type.
It's not for me, bro.
No.
Yeah, so I rewatched it probably a couple of years ago, obviously because of the millennial white woman who was in my life. And when I rewatched it, I was like, this is worse than I remember. And I love ABBA, of course.
Yeah.
No problem with ABBA, but it just doesn't hit the same. So that would be one of my choices as one of her worst.
What else you got?
Okay. Now, I want to keep it in terms of having some of the best of the best. So I got to go with the other GOAT, who, again, name is brought up the last few years, Viola Davis.
I knew you were going to say Viola Davis. And big shout outs to Timothy Chalamet for bringing up Viola Davis in his recent speech as one of the GOATs. I'm going to go with her best movies. I'll do The Help. The Help was good.
Okay. I'm not mad at that.
And then Fences was good. Okay, so here's the thing now. I like Fences because I saw the play.
Okay.
So then when I saw the adaptation with Denzel, it was good. Like, to me, it was good. It was a little Oscar baity, but it was good. The sign of a good actress or actor is how they deal with their when they're crying. The snot that comes out of their nose.
We're on the same page. We're on the same page.
I was hesitating what I was going to say it. But the snot that comes out of their nose when they're crying, that's how I know if you're a good actor or not. And Viola Davis, she's the best at it, bro. She's the best. There's a lot of mucus when she's crying.
No, it's real.
And it makes me feel like, she's really crying.
No. I thought that when I think of that movie, that's what I think of is the snot in that scene where she's crying. Anytime I see it, I'm like, that snot is not CGI.
For sure.
That is 100% real.
Worst film she was in, I'll probably go with Suicide Squad. She was fine in her role, but the movie itself was trash. And then Ender's Game was shit too. It was like a sci-fi movie.
Ender's Game, I was gonna say, definitely is my idea for the worst. Another thing that we could be doing here is like when you see all the movies that you didn't know that she was in, like Medea Goes to Jail.
Fuck, I didn't know Tyler Perry had enough bread for Viola Davis.
He got enough bread for all of us.
Crazy. Yo, I heard Tasha Smith, she came out, they asked her on Breakfast Club, they said, why don't you do another Why Did I Get Married? And you know what she said? She's like, Tyler can call me. He makes his movies in a weekend. And I'm like, it kind of looks like he makes his movies in a weekend.
I respect it. Oh my goodness, that's funny. Black Adam, forgot that.
I don't want to blame her because she does a nice Amanda Waller.
Okay.
Like her character, it's the same character that she played in Suicide Squad, and she's good in the role, but the movies are shit.
Get her bread. Get your bread. Get your bread. Antoine Fisher is in here.
Antoine Fisher.
But I have two for best role for me. That it's like she's not big in these roles, but I think I actually like her sometimes in a smaller role because she brings a gravitas to the role no matter what it is. That's the Hunger Games that she was in. I think it's
that was a recent one.
The fourth one, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Yeah, that was a recent one.
And then Law Abiding Citizen. Every time I see that movie again and see that she's in it, I'm like,
that's a Netflix classic.
Yeah, I'm like, go ahead. Yeah, no, for sure. I'm sure there's definitely been some consummation to that movie going on. So, yeah, that's a good one. Chris, you got something for Viola Davis?
Yeah, for Viola Davis, I like The Disappearance of Eleanor Rigby.
Okay.
Came out what 2000, mid 2000s. I liked Fences too. She's been in a couple great TV shows. What's that TV show?
How to Get Away with Murder?
How to Get Away with Murder. That one was
sure.
My wife like ran through that one, so that was a great TV show out of that. But yeah, I'd probably say Eleanor Rigby is probably a movie I really liked with her. It's kind of interesting. I'm trying to think of any bad movies that she stands out in. Can't really think of any. Like
the thing is with Viola, she's in bad movies, but she's not bad in them.
Yes.
So it's tough to do this with her.
She's like, she's just like always like on point with her acting.
She's the epitome of like raising the level in a movie. Like her and Jamie Foxx are the two black actors I think of. Denzel does it as well. But like when someone is in a scene with them who can't act, it's way more obvious because they raise the level in the scene. That
Jamie's in that combo?
Jamie's the reason why I don't like Michael B. Jordan. Because
you think Jamie's in that combo?
Yeah, Jamie's in that convo.
Okay, I don't agree, but
really, yeah, because
I think he's good. Like as I said, Django's in my top 3 movies, but I don't know if he's in that category. That's a different.
To me, he is because any role he's in, he does that, and sometimes it's like a role where he's being like meek or shy, but he's still killing that role to where just as an actor, you have to match that energy.
I've seen it in some pretty shit Netflix movies the last few years. I can't lie, but
he's definitely in some bullshit. We're not gonna. I'll give you that. He's in some bullshit, but I think whatever role he's there to play, like
when he's on top of his game, he's hard to beat.
Even the last movie that he did, with what's her face, the one where
Cameron Diaz.
Yes.
Oh, come on,
no, but
Adrian.
He wasn't doing any crazy acting in that, but that was almost like an old school Will Smith role. Be charming, punch some people, create some laughs when it's time. That's what he did. Okay. That was the movie what it called for, and he did that. So I got to give him his props. All right, I got one last one before we move on.
Talk to me.
This one, I think she's a legend. I'm not gonna say that. She's a legend, absolutely. Kate Winslet.
Kate Winslet. Oh, man.
I think what makes it tough for her is that she has some roles in films where it's not as distinct that it's her. Okay. But when you look at the movies she's been in, you're like, oh, you got
she's been in some classics.
So sure. That's why I think she's good for this role, because almost the opposite of Viola Davis. When Viola Davis comes on screen, you know what it is. Like, she takes over that screen. It's her movie now. Kate Winslet can kind of be a part of a cast, but still kill her role. So where would you head with her of like her best roles?
Titanic's up there. I'm just not happy with her because she could have made Jack come on that little piece.
She's a murderer, basically.
Yeah. But instead she wanted the entire piece of fucking debris.
Selfish.
Very, very selfish.
Not for equality.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind would probably be.
Yeah, that's a classic movie. A lot of people's choice.
In terms of worst for me, Collateral Beauty is pretty shit.
Ooh.
I didn't like the Divergent movies at all. She was in those.
I'm surprised you didn't. I thought you would like those.
No, because there was a time, you guys remember, in the mid 2010s where there was all these young adult films from books that came out.
Hunger Games 2.
Hunger Games started the wave.
Yeah.
Twilight started the wave. I apologize. Then Hunger Games elevated.
Yeah. And
then you got the Divergent. Then you got the Maze Runner. And I was like, I'm good on these films. And Divergent was the ones that I was like, not for me.
I thought you would actually like those just because you are kind of a sci-fi guy. The first one was good, I'll say.
Yes.
The first, and then it started getting a little bit insurgent, resurgent,
Yeah. I like the Maze Runner, though. The first Maze Runner was good to me. I like that one. Okay.
The first one was a little, but yeah, I know that era, that's really like some millennial shit of like...
Yeah, the 2010s was just straight like...
Even A Fault in Our Stars, like... That's
another one, yeah.
Like, that's when they really start running out of ideas, 100%. She got some good ones to choose from. I think... For me, and this is like kind of like a left choice because I like this movie a lot, and it's probably PTSD to even say this movie, but Contagion.
Yeah.
I saw that in theaters. Really good movie. I rewatched it like during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Me too.
Crazy to watch it during these times.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, watching it for the first time now that we're out the pandemic, it probably would actually hit more.
Yeah.
So I encourage everyone to see that if they haven't seen it. Avatar, of course, is in here. But I think we have a rom-com in here that...
I thought she was in Avatar. Which Avatar is she in?
She's in the first one. Oh, the second one.
Oh, the second one. Okay.
Yeah. But we have a rom-com in here that all my rom-com fans, I know you guys are waiting to say this, but The Holiday, I watched that for the first time maybe 2 years ago. Yeah. That's in here as well. But can we get a consensus of like what the best is before we talk about the worst? Because we've named like 6 movies. What would we choose as the best between all of us?
It's probably Titanic.
Gotta be Titanic.
Okay, that's where I'm at too.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Titanic.
And then the worst, you said Collateral Beauty?
For me, yeah.
Mhm.
Actually, fuck, I hate the Divergent. I'm gonna stick with the Divergent. Like, let's stick with it.
Chris, you're sticking with those two?
Yeah, those are probably, well, that's my top, but I say the worst movie. I saw it recently, The Mountain Between Us.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen it. It's bad?
Yeah, it's not that great. Like, they end up in, I think it was a plane crash, and it was like, all right, but it was just kind of like, you could see everything that was coming. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, mine is Finding Neverland. I don't remember that movie much, but I remember that I did not like it. Some of these movies feel to me, and especially with the kind of like the level of actor and actress that we're talking about, is I know this script was crazy. Like, I know that when you read the script, you thought it was going to be an amazing movie. It just didn't pan out. That's what some of these movies I feel like is the script probably sold you in a way that we can't see. But now that it's being made, it's like, didn't really work out.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I like that. So we did what? 3 actresses for the people?
Mm-hmm.
Best and worst films?
Maybe next week or next episode, we can do the new generation of actors. We got some young people that are making their names, some that I'm more fan of than others, of course.
All right. So we'll do some young niggas next?
Yes.
And then young women next?
Yeah. And of course, in the comments, let us know anyone you think we should discuss. Please let us know in the comments.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Michael B is going to get his shine next week.
Oh, brother. Well, we're just saying best and worst, so Adriel doesn't have to go too deep on his hate.
Only worst.
They're all bad.
Crazy. Gentlemen, we did it again, man. We did it again. 74 episodes of the Mayor's Office podcast by eBay. Appreciate every single one of you guys listening, watching, experiencing. And you know how we rock, how we close the podcast. We got our non-rap suggestion, our animation suggestion, and our creator showcase. I'm going to get it off and running with our animation suggestion. First time ever. I'm actually going to suggest something that has not come out yet.
Oh, wow.
Well, at least at time of recording, because I have this much faith in it. The same creators that did Castlevania for Netflix. They're doing Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry is a video game, a very, very popular Capcom video game that I grew up playing. And the animation quality for this looks really good. They dropped those like exclusive sneak peek type videos on YouTube, and it looked dope. And I like the creative team that was behind Castlevania, which was also a video game adaptation. So I have complete faith that this is going to be quality too, because I personally think that Devil May Cry is a better story than Castlevania. So by the time this is up and running, the show will be out and I'll be happy. And if it's shit, I'll let you guys know in episode 75.
I have faith. I think what we've seen over the past 2 years is that the adaptation from video game to show has been basically flawless. So
it's been pretty good. Yeah, good track record in the last few years. Definitely.
So I got faith.
All right, we got our non-rap suggestion. Chris, do you want to start us off?
Sure. So for my non-rap suggestion of the week, we're bringing it back to, I think it's like the 90s. Matchbox 20, 3 a.m.
Whoa.
Is the jam.
Matchbox 20.
Yeah. I was going down, having a good weekend of watching ball. A couple pints were being had. We were in the garage a bit, so it's Matchbox 20. It's a good upbeat garage music.
That was the era.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing now, Matchbox 20, but that was the era.
Yeah.
That was when music videos mattered.
Yeah. Back. Oh man. Yeah, music videos aren't the same anymore, man.
No,
definitely not.
Different
Definitely
time.
not. No meaning behind them.
No.
Yeah. You want to go
Especially
next?
the R&B artists too. I need some like heartfelt shit.
Yeah,
I need a story.
Sing in the rain.
Yeah, I need a fucking story.
Or
man.
you know what I actually want? I just want some choreo. Like, can we get the dancing to come back? Because no one dances anymore.
True.
Yeah.
It's like it's only the women that really dance in R&B these days. Or if the old heads like your
you want the artists to dance?
Yeah, like,
Not mad at that.
Give me a little two-step. Show me what you're working with. Like,
Yeah. Especially for like those songs where it's like everything's just feels like, oh, that could be a movie, like the song. You know what I mean? Like just like the lyrics.
Not mad at that. Yeah,
that's what I
bring
want to
dancing
see.
back, guys. Bring dancing back. I'm going to. Oof, you said no R&B, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. You know what? I don't know if I did this song already, but
I felt that way about my song too.
Yeah.
I don't think I did. I don't think I did. But there's a song by Greek. It's called Ripcord. Pretty sure I didn't mention this before. But I actually listened to, at the end of the Joe Budden podcast where they do their sleepers, Melissa Ford picked this song. And I was like, yo, this song's hard while it's playing. And then after it was done playing, all the guys were like, nah, you killed it this week. And I was like, yeah, Melissa Ford, you did kill it. So I'm going to go with Ripcord by Greek.
Okay, I like that. Steal it from another podcast.
Yeah, why not?
Steal our way to the top.
Hey, everybody else does it.
Yeah. Can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, Chris, you got to let me know if I've said this one already. But this song is like not low key at all. It's just not rap. Jimi Hendrix, Jungle. Like this song came on shuffle the other day, and I completely forgot about it. But obviously, absolute heater.
Yeah, it's a banger. I feel like I think you've had a different Jimi Hendrix song on before.
You definitely had Jimmy.
Yeah, because I remember you doing Jimmy, but I don't know if it was Jungle.
Pause.
Oh, super pause.
Okay, so so no more Jimmy then.
Yeah. We'll move on from Jimmy. Still use them.
Yeah. Or you got just find some deeper cuts.
There you go.
Find some super deep cuts.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now we got our creator showcase.
Wait, Chris did his.
Yeah, Chris did his. Now we have a creator showcase. I haven't done one of these in a long, long time, but this creator showcase is close to my heart because I've actually worked with this company and done some stuff with them. That's Her House. They just had their film festival last weekend in collaboration with Warhol Studios, but a female-led production team, creative team. So anything you're doing video-wise, visual-wise, you got to go with them. And I was a part of their programming for the one that they had a film festival earlier in the year. And one of the films that I brought was one of their favorite films. So pretty proud of that. But yeah, Her House, please connect with them. Anything you're doing video-wise, production-wise, film, music videos, they got you.
That's it, man.
Every month is Women's Month.
Every month is Women's Month. This guy said, Her House, every month is Women's Month. Buy Asia's hoodies. Oh, man. 74 episodes of the Mayor's Office podcast. We want to appreciate, show you guys so much positive energy. Make sure we're not doing this podcast for nothing, okay? Chris isn't out here working his ass off. Adriel isn't out here talking his ass off, and I'm not out here sitting down being comfortable. We're not doing it just because we like to do it. We're doing it because we love you guys, okay? 74 episodes, and we're going to do 26 more. I'm trying to get to that 100, and then infinity and beyond. We got so many new things planned. Stay tuned. How you feeling, Adriel?
I feel like we're hitting our stride, man. Like, this was a good episode. It felt good. I hope it was good for everyone who listened. We appreciate all you guys. We have some fun stuff coming up. So please post notifications on Instagram, YouTube. We got a lot of good stuff coming, a lot of fun stuff coming. So excited for that. And if you guys haven't already, we did a podcast with Uncommon Sense. Go and find that on their YouTube.
Definitely.
The Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy coming together. That's
crazy.
That's
we're the Avengers, by the way.
Yeah. Ralph's evil twin is on that podcast.
Yeah, that's Rocket Raccoon.
Chris's alter ego is behind the boards.
That is, we'll give him Drax. Yeah, Drax.
So it's a great episode. I hope you guys check it out. A little different from what we usually do here.
Facts.
I'll say that, but
topics are a little different.
But definitely fun episode. So if you haven't got that already, Uncommon Sense, we hopped on their podcast.
Shout-outs.
Please go check that out. And of course, on all your podcast platforms, leave us a rating and a review. 5 stars, not a single star less. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. Leave us a comment and like this video. And until next time, know yourself, know your worth.